our final week of the Android smart device tutorials. We are going to cover browsing and more. So I'm going to quickly go over the agenda. So today we're going to be talking about web searching. In particular, we're going to talk about Google and Firefox. I originally was going to talk about Internet Explorer, and I will get into a little bit of that, why I excluded it in the end, and I'll kind of just discuss what Internet Explorer does. Also, we're going to be creating a Google account. So the Google account will help you, especially if you are in Rebecca's advanced courses. And it will help you kind of just create a Gmail, a Google account for those of you who don't already have one. We're also going to talk about web safety and as well as Samsung Pay. And then we're going to talk about transferring photos from your smart device onto your desktop or laptop. And then finally, we're going to wrap up with updates. So if anybody has any questions about the agenda, just go ahead and unmute yourself and you can ask me now. Again, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just unmute yourself. When I share my screen, I can't see all of you. So it's a lot easier than raising your hand or anything like that. So I don't see any questions. So we're just gonna move right along. So we're going to start today with Google Chrome. So Google Chrome is probably one of the most famous and most used platforms of all the web searching or web browsing platforms that are offered. Typically, the Google Chrome application is already downloaded onto your Samsung device because it uses Google for a lot of its functionality. So this is up here. This is what the Google Chrome icon will look like on your device, either your phone or your tablet. And if you don't have the Google Chrome app, it's okay. You can go ahead and download it from the App Store. So either from the Google Play Store, or I think that Samsung's App Store as well also has the Google Chrome application as an option. So to begin, you can browse the web by typing in keywords or website addresses in the search bar. So here is your search bar. And this is where you're going to type in a keyword or phrase or a website. Now, Google Predict will automatically try to guess what words you're trying to say and provide a drop-down menu. And I kind of give you an example of this here. So I started typing in Facebook, and my device registered and recognized the fact that I was trying to type in Facebook. So here they have a little drop-down menu and they say, oh, are you looking for Facebook? And you can go ahead and click that and it will take you directly to the website. You can also search for things using this little microphone icon right here. So if you tap this microphone icon, you can search verbally with words instead of having to type it out. All you will have to do is that you'll be prompted to allow Google to have access to your microphone. And when you click yes, you should be able to speak your question, your comment, or the website that you're looking for into the search bar rather than typing it. So that's a really good option if you know, you're having some trouble with your hands or your screen is too small. It's just a lot easier that way. And you can also open up a new tab. So I think about it as your desktop or laptop device. When you open up a new tab, there will be a bunch of tabs at the top and you can kind of click between them. When you're using Google on your phone, you're not seeing those tabs up top anymore. Instead, they're going to be at this bottom box here. So right at the bottom on like the right-hand side, you're going to see a little square. And in this case, it has the number 6 in it because I had 6 tabs open. And this is what the screen will look like if you go ahead and click the box with the number 6. It's going to open up this screen and it's going to show you all of your tabs. So I have 6 tabs open, but I can also add a new one. So I can either click this plus button here, or I can click this plus button here. So either from your Google homepage, or if you click your tabs button, you should be able to also add another tab that way. You can go back and go forward on Google Chrome using the back button and the forward button on the bottom left-hand corner of your homepage. So this is your homepage again, and I really want to reiterate that this is the homepage. This is the page if you are typing something in or searching for something, and this is going to be the page when you click your tabs button. So yeah, so if you were looking at something or if you Googled something and you, for example, were looking at cute kittens, and then you clicked a website and you were like, oh, this is not the website I want, you can always go back and it will send you back to that previous page of you searching cute kittens and giving you options, website options. You can always go forward again or back as you please. And again, I really want to talk about background running tabs or pages. So we talked about background running apps a few weeks ago. And today we're really going to focus on background running tabs. And it's very similar. So when you click the box with the number 6 in it, your tabs button, you're going to see a list of your apps that you have, a list of your tabs that you have open. In order to get rid of these tabs, like to close these tabs, you're going to want to click this X in the top right-hand corner of each tab, or you're going to want to click the Close All button. So if you wanted to, for example, I have Community Partnership on Aging open here. If I wanted to save that tab, I would have to personally and individually click each X that is located on the top right instead of clicking the Close All, because it will also close this tab that I want to keep. And closing your background running tabs is really important for your device. So your phone, you might notice that it's starting to run slower and it's taking up a lot of storage. That's because you have a lot of background running tabs or apps on your device. So making sure that we're routinely cleaning out our tabs is a good way to optimize our phone's functionality. So going back to our homepage, so this is our homepage, you will see a More option, which is symbolized by these 3 dots. And I really want to emphasize that anytime you see 3 dots or 3 lines on your phone, that is the More option, and that pretty much universally means more options whenever you see 3 dots or 3 lines. And in Google Chrome's case, when you click the More button, you're going to be offered a variety of different options. So you're going to be able to see your web page history. Now, Google Chrome tracks every website that you look at, every keyword that you type in and search for, anything that you search for or you click on in the Google Chrome app is saved into your history. And then again, you can access that by clicking the 3 dots, and you can scroll throughout your history to see what you've looked at in the past. So like if you saw this really cool recipe, but you closed out the tab, there's no worries. You can always go back into your history to see what you were looking at the day before or the week before. On your device, I believe it goes back at least 2 weeks to a month. And then if you're using Google Chrome on your laptop or desktop computer, it goes back much, much further. So it's a nice little history that you can see everything that you clicked on, and it kind of keeps track of that. There's also an option to create a new tab. So like I said before, you can always create a new tab by clicking the plus button, but you can also click the more button here, and you can open a new tab that way. From the more button, you can also open an incognito tab, which is also exemplified by this guy with glasses and a top hat. So incognito tabs, like I was saying with history, incognito tabs are a way for you to search keywords, phrases, or websites without your device, Google, keeping track of that and keeping it in its history. So that's a really good way to kind of have those, searches or website browsing hidden from your history. It won't show up in your history, rather than a normal tab that will always keep track of what you're doing and your cookies and all of that. Now, your incognito tab is not 100% confidential. So I like to kind of think of it as like a confidential tab. It's not 100% confidential, as Google still tracks that information that you're plugging in, but it won't show up on your device's history. So you can, again, open up a new incognito tab using the more button right here on the bottom right-hand corner of your home page. Or when you open up the tab button here, the one with the square and the 6, you're going to have your normal tabs here. And then you can see the man with the glasses and the hat. If you tap this, you will be able to kind of open up a new tab that way. Lastly, you have recent tabs. Again, that's just a way of getting back to your history. So if you closed a tab and you wanted to go back to it, this is going to show you all your recently closed tabs or your recent tabs that you've opened, even if you accidentally exit out of it. And finally, we have bookmarks. So there is a way that you can kind of like favorite a website. So that way you're not having to constantly type in the website or go into your history to find that website again. Instead, you can bookmark that website. So once you get to the website of your choosing, such as Facebook, it's going to provide you with the option on the more, if you click the more button, to bookmark that page. And then when you go back to your home page, you can go ahead and click bookmarks from your home page, or you can click the more button and click bookmarks again to access that bookmarked page. So does anybody have any questions about Google Chrome? Okay. So next we have Firefox, or Mozilla Firefox. Now, the icon for Mozilla Firefox has changed dramatically over the years. So up here, we have the full evolution of the Mozilla Firefox icon that could be displayed on your screen or your device. It could look like any one of these. Typically speaking, I see a lot of this one, and I see a lot of this one. So if it looks like some sort of variation on your device, that is the one that you want. That is your Mozilla Firefox application. And again, you're going to want to download Mozilla Firefox or just Firefox from the Google Play Store or your App Store. And you can, very similar to Google Chrome, you can browse the web by typing in keywords or website addresses into the search bar here. Yep, so that is your search bar, and you can go ahead and type in any website or keywords that you're looking for. And like Google, Firefox will go ahead and try to predict your words and try to fill in the website that you're looking for in a drop-down menu. So you're going to see, oh, I don't have a picture of it. So if you were to type in Facebook again, there'll be a drop box and it will offer you all the things that it thinks that you could be typing in, right? And the home screen on Mozilla Firefox is a little bit different than Google Chrome or any of the other browsing platforms. So this is your home page for Mozilla Firefox. And as you can see here, there are a number of trending news opportunities and really popular websites that are already linked and set to go. So you can go ahead and click any of these links and it will take you directly to that website. You can also open up a new tab on the bottom of your screen here. You'll see the square with the number 1. So again, that is our tab icon. And if we click that, this is the screen that is going to pop up here. And down here, there is in the lower right-hand corner, there is a plus sign. And that's what you're going to click to open up a new tab. You can, again, just like Google Chrome, go back and forth pages. You can move back a page or move forward a page using the back and the forward button on the bottom left-hand corner of your home page or your screen. As soon as you start searching for things, it will stay there so you can go back and forth at your leisure. And again, with background running tabs, you're going to want to click the tab button in the lower right-hand corner, and you're going to have a list of your tabs here. Now, unlike Google, you cannot just delete all of your open tabs at once. So like Google had a close all for all your tabs, Mozilla Firefox is one at a time. So you're going to have to click this X at the top right-hand corner, or you can click this trash can in the bottom center of your screen. So it's going to delete the tabs one at a time versus Google, which has the option to close all tabs at once. And then finally, the more option is down at the bottom right-hand corner. And it will stay there. So even if it's not if you're not on your home page, but if you're looking and searching through Firefox, it will still stay there. And you can click that and you can get more options. And those options are here. This is the center page. So when you click the More tab, this is what will pop up. So Google does a really good job of remembering your password and logins, right? So if you are logging into Facebook, it will remember that you've logged in the past and say, would you like to log in using the same login information that you did before? And if you click yes, it will automatically input your username and password and allow you into the website. Mozilla Firefox also has a very similar option here where you can view your logins and passwords for each website that you've allowed Mozilla to remember your password and login information. So if you forget your password and login information for a specific website, Mozilla will have an option for you to look at your logins and passwords. Again, you can always click the home button from this page, from the More page, and it will take you right back to your home page. That looks like here, that looks like this. And then your library option allows you to look at your history, your bookmarks, and your recent tabs. So this is very, very similar to Google Chrome again, where you can bookmark a website or favorite a website that you would like to go back to often. You can also look at your history, your browsing history, everything that you've typed in, everything that you have clicked. And you can also look at recently closed tabs or your recent tabs that you've had open from your library. We also have a block images button. So Mozilla, this is a feature that is really specific to Mozilla. You can block the images that you are you are searching for at any time. So that kind of takes a lot less download data. So it's a way to kind of get that information faster, or to just kind of block images because you don't want to look at them. So that is an option. And then you also have enable night mode. So as you can see here from your home screen, the background for Mozilla Firefox is white. If you click enable night mode, your background will become black. And that's a really good way to save battery, because the white screen takes up a lot more battery than a black screen does. And it's also really good for if you're scrolling at night, that bright white light won't blind you. The darker setting or mode on this function is a really good way to kind of limit that exposure to bright lights. And then finally, we have settings. So here we have a couple of different options, such as browsing settings and privacy settings and personal settings. And it will kind of walk you through what each setting does as a description underneath. And so once you're done with the more option, you can go ahead and click close, and you are back to browsing. So does anybody have any questions about Firefox? All right. So real quick, I want to talk about why I excluded Internet Explorer from this PowerPoint. Internet Explorer is an application you can download. However, it's a little bit more finicky on the phone than it is on a laptop or a desktop device. So it doesn't offer exceptional functionality, I should say, and it isn't as superior as the other two options that I offered. So as you can see here, there are a lot of different browsing platforms that you can choose from. There is Opera, there is Google Chrome. Safari is specific to Apple products. We have Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Microsoft Edge. You also have the Samsung Internet Explorer that is typically downloaded onto all Samsung devices, which is very similar operation to Google Chrome. So they operate pretty much identically. So I really just wanted to quickly touch upon browsing differences. So the differences between web browsers, and their two biggest differences, are the support and the rendering. So support would include scheduled updates, security updates, bug fixes, your JavaScript, which is like the software that your device uses, and other functionality to the browser. So most browsing platforms operate very similarly, and most websites or functionalities are the same across the platforms. Some websites and some functions do work better on certain platforms, which is why I recommend one or two being downloaded on your phone or your tablet, because sometimes I will have a problem, for example, with Zoom, and I found that it works better with Firefox rather than Google Chrome on my device. That might just be different for each device. And again, if you find that you're having trouble getting onto certain websites or certain functions of a website on that platform, you can always try another platform. But for the average user, there are very little differences between browsers. So does anybody have any questions about browser differences? All right. So next we're going to go ahead and create a Google account. So I'm going to go ahead And when you get, this is going to be a demonstration on my laptop device. Now you can do the same thing on your smart device, either your tablet or your phone. It is pretty much the same. I'm just going to be using it on my laptop because we're, sharing on Zoom right now. But it will be the same information and the same setup as your device or tablet. So when you get to the Google homepage, you are going to see something that looks like this. Now, I'm already signed in right now, but this will be blank, and then you can go ahead and click it. And when you click it, it's going to ask you to log in with your Google information. Now, if you don't have a Google login, that's okay. You can click create a new account instead. And when you click create a new account, this is the page that you are going to see. So we are going to quickly run through how to create a Google account. So we are going to pick a name for demonstration purposes. And then it's going to just go ahead and ask you to input your first name and your last name. So I did that. And then you're going to pick your username. So your username is going to be some variation of your name typically, right? So you're going to put like ssuter24@gmail.com, some sort of version of your name. So I'm going to put and it's going to alert you whether or not this information or this username has already been taken. So it looks like my username has not been taken already. So I can use my name and a letter. And then it's going to ask you to create a password. Now there are some eligibility criteria for your password, right? It has to be at least 8 characters with a mix of numbers and letters and a special symbol. And special symbols are characterized by either an exclamation point, a question mark, any sort of special symbol that is on your keyboard. So I like to start personally with a password with a capital letter, some alphabetical letters, a couple of numbers, and then end with my special symbols. So I'm going to go ahead and create a password. And it's going to ask you to confirm the password that you chose. So this is the password, and then I just go ahead and rewrite the password to confirm. And then I can go ahead and click next. And see, this is Mozilla Firefox. This is going to happen on your device too. It's going to ask if you would like them to save this login information. And of course, you can click save or don't save. Saving that information is a good way to not forget your password because your device will remember it for you. Now it's going to ask you to input your phone number. This is for a security reason, just in case you get locked out of your account, they will be able to contact you via phone, send you a text message to verify your identity and get back into your accounts. So it is optional. So if you don't feel like sharing your personal information, your personal phone number, you do not have to, you can go ahead and skip. There's also an option for recovery email address. So if you have another email that you have access to, and for some reason you were to forget your password for this email, it will send a recovery email to the original email that you have, allowing you to access this email. So again, it's just a way to verify your identity so that you can have access back into your account. And again, this is optional, so you do not have to have a recovery email and you do not have to have a telephone number to set this up. This is just a way, just in case you were to not be able to log back into your account, that you have other means, another way to do so. And then it's going to ask for your birthday. So we're going to put in my birthday. And then it's going to ask your gender. So you can choose a variety of different options. You can choose male, female, rather not say, or custom. So I'm going to click I'd rather not say, but if you would like to click your preferred gender, that is also there as well. And then we click next. And then you're going to get this screen that talks about the privacy and terms of the Google account that you're creating. So when you scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see a blue I agree button that we are going to click. And then it's going to work a few minutes to try to create this account. It takes a couple minutes for it to kind of refresh. And then you should have access straight into your Gmail account. Perfect. Yes, so here it has my Gmail account right open. So it goes straight to your Gmail account. And this is your account. So you can go ahead and look through all the applications and functions that you have associated with your account. So every time you have an account or you create an account, you can go to your account settings by clicking account. So yeah, if you go to this square with the dots, you will see that you have your account information here, YouTube, the Google search, Google Maps, your Gmail, your Drive, and so on and so forth. So these are all applications or functions that come with a Google account, which is why it's such a great account to have. Because it comes with storage, a calendar. This is kind of like Zoom. This is an application that's really similar to Zoom. It's called Google Meet, where you can video chat your friends and family. It automatically logs you into a YouTube account. It's really incorporating a lot of different tools and functions when you create a Google account. So yeah, that is how you create an account. Does anybody have any questions about that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have an old email with Yahoo.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out how to get back in it. I've been in it in a long time.
So why don't you, do you not know the password information anymore? Do you know your email address?
Yeah. So I went into Yahoo, and then it says, we've noticed some unusual account activity. For your safety, choose a method below. So they got an email code, or it looks like the set of phones, but you can't really check on them.
Okay. So when you go into yahoo.com or Yahoo Mail, there should be an option to forget your password. Like it'll say forgot password underneath where you log in.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and if you click that, you can reset your password that way.
And they actually send it to the email I'm trying to get into. You believe that? So in other words, they sent a verification code to me, but they sent it to the email that I can't get into.
Oh, okay.
How about that? Wow.
That is a little bit trickier, which is why, again, I really recommend like having a backup or recovery email, because
No, I didn't forget username.
yeah, actually, if you stay after
Okay.
I can try to figure out a way. We can try to like search for a way that you can try to get back in without having a verification code.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next we have web safety. So I really want to emphasize web safety. Again, you really need to be looking at your device or your laptop as a computer. So either your tablet or your phone is kind of like a mini computer. So when you create a password, you want to make sure that your passwords are strong and are not easily guessed by somebody who's trying to access your information. And you also want to secure access to your account by adding a two-step authentication option. So a lot of times Google and Yahoo and a lot of other websites will ask you if you would like to register your phone number just in case somebody has your password. They still won't have your actual device to get into your account, right? So it's going to ask for a two-step identification. It's going to ask, are you trying to log in from your actual phone? And then you will click yes, and it'll let you in. So even if somebody has your password, they won't have your device to be able to click yes to log into your account. Again, emails are often how scammers get access to personal information. So if an email looks unusual, even if you know the person who sent it, it's best to just delete that email. You should also be aware what you share publicly on social media websites such as Facebook, because that's another way that people can get your personal information. And you are going to want to use a firewall security protection on your device. Typically, most devices, especially Androids and iPhones, will have a default firewall settings on your device that are already installed. But just in case you don't, you can always download one from the App Store. And then finally, you want to remember to always log out of your accounts when you are done using them to make sure that other people aren't able to come up behind you and continue browsing your accounts without your knowledge. Some common scams that we see today are a request for a short-term loan. So a scammer will write an email and a personal message, and they'll say that they ask you to give them a small loan. They'll also say that they're in dire need of your help and that they will return the loan right away. This is a really popular scam amongst scammers. So you want to make sure that we're not doing any short-term loans to anyone, especially people that you don't know. Another common scam that we see is to request or validate your banking login information. They will even create emails that look legitimate, but they're really not. And if you look at the email address, you'll see like one or two things off. For example, if you see a Google support email, it might say Google support, but with only one P, or it might say Google support with like an umlaut over the O. It'll have like something of a variation of Google support, but it won't actually be the real Google support. So really making sure that we're like checking out the email addresses and that they match up with the email address that is widely sent by the creator of the platform or the email that you're using is a really good way to make sure that it's a legitimate email. You also want to install security software. Oh, I'm sorry. You do want to install security software, but a common scam is for them to ask you to install this security software onto your device. They'll say that your computer is infected and that you must install this software immediately. Again, that's a really common scam that we're seeing. And finally, the you've won a prize scam, usually associated by a link. Do not click the link because that's a really good way for scammers to go ahead and get that personal information from you. So any questions about web safety? All right, and next we have Samsung Pay. So Samsung Pay is a mobile pay and digital wallet service. It is an in-person application. So you will need to use this application in person when visiting stores or restaurants or some sort of vendor. Samsung Pay comes pre-downloaded on your device. but you can always reinstall it if you need to. And this is what the icon will look like. So once it's installed, and to get started, you can go ahead and it's going to ask you for a verification PIN or a password to set up. So it's going to ask you to set up a password and then confirm it by adding your password again. So just confirming the password that you would like to use. And then you're going to want to add in your debit or credit card information that you're going to be using. And then it has an extra layer of security on your Samsung account if you use the biometrics, either your fingerprint or your face or iris verification. The same way that you would lock your phone or your device, this will use the same locking and unlocking feature if you wanted to lock your Samsung Pay that way. Yeah, so to access your Samsung Pay, typically it's usually right at the bottom of your screen. So if you swipe up from the bottom of your screen, you should have the Samsung Pay application. If not, you can always scroll through your applications until you find Samsung Pay. And then you would just hold the phone to the card reader. So here you see this is this person's PayPal. They might also have a debit card or a credit card that they would like to use. So this is the debit card, for example. And then it says PIN or it says iris. If you want to go ahead and just enter your PIN or your password or have it look into your iris or your fingerprint, however you decided to set up your security for this, you're going to want to go ahead and do that. And then it has like, I think it's 30 to 60 seconds for you to use the card. And to use the card, what you're going to do is you're going to hold it up to the card reader at the store. So this picture here is what it's going to look like. So instead of inserting your card down here, your device will automatically and wirelessly transfer that money, that income, using a wireless transaction. So all you have to do is, take your phone and place it onto the card reader, and it should go through that way. So does anybody have any questions about Samsung Pay? It's a really great feature just in case you forgot your wallet at home or something happened to your card. Maybe like the reader is just not as good. You can always go ahead and input your card information into the Samsung Pay app and then pay that way. So it is a really great feature.
Can you use it on Amazon?
On Amazon, so it has to be in person.
Oh, that's in person. Okay.
Yeah, so any payments that you're using with this is an in-person experience.
It keeps you from having cash on your cards. It's easy to just do it through the phone.
Yeah, so it's just a great way to, instead of using cash or a debit card or a credit card, to quickly swipe up from the bottom of your phone, enter your password, put it next to the card reader, and you're good to go.
And that'll work on any phone, huh?
I'm sorry?
Would that work on, does that only work on specific type phones?
It should work on all newer Samsung or Android devices.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a great idea.
It is fantastic.
Yeah. I see a lot of people do it. I just never done it.
Yeah, it's really quick. It's really easy. There's like no hassle trying to look through your wallet or anything like that. It's already on your phone. And it's a little bit easier than Apple Pay because you can just swipe up from the bottom of your phone. It'll automatically have your card available. You'll just enter your PIN. I personally don't like using the facial recognition or the thumbprint. I think it's just a lot easier to enter your 4-digit PIN real fast, put it onto the card reader, and my purchase goes through, I'm approved, and I can head out the door. It's a really quick transaction that way.
Now you mentioned people use thumbprint to get in their phone.
I'm sorry?
I said, you mentioned using a thumbprint, right?
Yes.
But if you injure your thumb in any way, the recognition won't read it.
True, and then it's just going to ask you to pick a PIN. So anytime you register with Samsung Pay, you have to do the PIN, and then you can also select to use your biometrics, either your iris or your thumb. And that way, if your thumb is not registering, it'll quickly ask for your PIN instead, like it's not working, just use the PIN. And that way you can still get into your account.
To the phone, yeah.
Yes. Great question.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, so we also have transferring media. So if you have a ton of pictures on your device, like I do, after a while, they're gonna take up a lot of your storage space. And it's just a lot easier to keep the pictures on my laptop or desktop computer. So in order to do that, you're going to want to connect your PC with the USB cable that comes with your charger. So this cable here, the cable that's your charger, this is your charging cable. And on this end, there is a USB, and this is the end that you're going to put into your device, right? And this is the USB. And you can put the USB into the USB reader on your computer, which is exemplified by this picture here. So they put their USB into the USB reader, and then they plug their phone in. So you're going to want to turn on your phone, unlock your phone, and your PC should be able to find your device right away. And on your PC, it'll have an option that says, I recognize there's a new device. I recognize this device. What would you like to do? So you can click Photos, and then it's going to ask if you would like to import the media from your phone onto your computer, and you should click Yes. Or you can select which pictures in particular you would like to import. So on your computer, on your device. So it's going to show your gallery, and you can click which pictures you want, and then click Start Import. And then it'll be in your File Explorer on your computer or laptop. And this is what your File Explorer will look like. So this is what the icon on your computer or desktop looks like. And then you can scroll down through Downloaded. So it'll have like Downloaded, Documents, your PC, that information. And it should be in your Downloads, all the pictures that you have imported. It might also be into your Photos folder, which will be under your Documents. So does anybody have any questions about transferring media? All right, finally, we have updates. So your phone will update for new functionality, features, for the newest software, for the newest way for your phone to interact, right? So you want to make sure that when you have an update that you are connected to Wi-Fi or your data connection network. If you have a limited data plan, and I really want to emphasize this, if you have a limited data plan, you want to make sure that you're connected to Wi-Fi, because this will cost you a lot to download. So you'll see a higher increase in your bill if you have a limited data plan. You always want to make sure that you're connected to Wi-Fi if you have a limited data plan, because it's going to take a lot of data to update your device. Typically, your device is going to alert you. So like in the notifications that you have here, your device is going to alert you that you have an update available. And if not, you can go ahead and manually check for updates. So when you go to your settings, this is your settings here, you can select software update or about phone. So it could be here or it will be here. And then it's going to ask you to check for available updates. And an update will appear under this tab here. Yes, perfect. So depending on the operating system, you're going to see install now and reboot and install, or install system software. And you're going to go ahead and tap that. And this is what the screen will look like while it's updating. Your phone might restart and then turn back on. Updating your phone can take anywhere from like 5 minutes. I've seen them take like 20 minutes. So if you're updating now, rather than scheduling a time, because you can always schedule a time, usually it picks a time at night, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when you're not using your device. Or you can click update now. And if you click update now, you really want to make sure that you don't need your phone for at least 20 minutes while it updates, just in case it's going to be a long one. Now I see we have a question in the chat. If photos go to Google Photos, do I still have to transfer anything? That's a great question. Your Google Photos is a backup storage that you really don't need to go ahead and transfer anything. It's already going to back up those photos into your Google Photos, and is already a storage in and of itself. So you don't have to transfer anything. It's already going to transfer it for you. Great question. All right, any questions about updates? All right. Well, I want to thank you all for the opportunity. I greatly appreciated it. I so appreciate your participation. This has been a fantastic experience, and I'm